So, we will continue our discussion about the conduction of carriers in metal and semiconductor. So, here you see this, if we apply electric field on a sample, whether it is metal or semiconductor, then what is the current density. Now, I want to apply magnetic field along with this electric field, means electric field is there, and because of that this current is flowing through the sample. Now, if I apply magnetic field on it, so what will happen, that we want to study. So, let us take a simplified model, means just one dimensional conduction. So, means if I take a sample, rod type of sample, or this sample, I think I have to, if I slightly lower I can take. So, okay, fine. So, this is the sample dimension or geometry of the sample. So, this is the x direction, say this is the x direction, this is the y direction, this is the y direction, this is the y direction, and this is the z direction, this is the z direction. Okay. This y, this is z. Okay. So, length is along the x axis, length is say L, and this is width of the sample, So, this is say W, and this is the thickness of the sample, this say it is T. This is a T, thickness of the sample, it is T, right. So, it's T, thickness of the sample is T, width of the sample is W, and length of the sample is L, right. So, we have applied electric field along the x direction, okay. So, due to this electric field, current will flow through this along the x direction. Okay. So, Jx, so I can now give this Jx is moving, current density Jx because of the electric field, So, I was giving electric field this, okay, because of this electric field along this. So, this let us write x, right, electric field is given along x direction. So, current is flowing in this direction. So, before applying any magnetic field, B equal to 0, right. So, this will be the current density, J equal to NeV. So, I will put one negative sign, that we have seen earlier, right. And yes, so this so now if I apply magnetic field, so what will happen? So, if I choose the direction of magnetic field is along the along the z direction, so I have drawn like this, means it's this sample is under uniform magnetic field. So, field direction is in so all the whole the sample are getting experienced with this magnetic field. That magnitude of this field is B z. So, z we are giving this direction is along the z direction. So, now before applying magnetic field, this charge carrier was moving, right. So, whether it is so just let us consider the metal, then we can generalize to the semiconductor. So, that means electron are moving in which direction? So, if it is electric field in this direction, so field are having this is having negative electrons are negative charge. Okay. So, it will move in this direction, okay. This negative x direction, but conventionally current is taken that this along opposite to the electron flow. Okay. So, current is okay. So, this is the case. Now, if I consider the effect of this magnetic field on this charge. So, now charge is moving, charge has velocity, right. Now, that moving charge will experience force because of this Lorentz force. What is Lorentz force? Due to magnetic field, Lorentz force F equal to minus E. So, for electric field it is there. So, this V cross B. Okay. So, what will be the force direction? That will depend on the direction of V and direction of B, right. So, direction of B is along the k direction. I can write this is a k direction, unit vector k with z direction, right. So, I think I can tell here. So, this F, or I can write here F, that force, Lorentz force will act on this moving charge carriers. So, that is minus E, right, then V cross B, right. Now, in our geometry V is along x direction. So, I can write V x along this unit vector I, and this B I can write this, it is along z direction. So, B z along k direction, unit vector k, right. So, now here basically you are getting minus E V x B z into here I cross k. So, I cross k is basically minus j, because k cross I equal to j. So, I cross k will be minus j. So, this is j and minus plus. Okay. So, here some force is Lorentz force will act on the moving charge carrier, because if V is 0, so there is this Lorentz force will not act on this charge carrier, although magnetic field is there. So, in presence of magnetic field, moving carrier only get affected, field force. Okay. So, that force is along the z direction, that force is along the z direction, right, means along the y direction, along the y direction. So, this is the y direction. So, force will act on this in this direction. So, it looks like this, but problem is that I cannot say, because I have to this, what is the direction of V? Okay. So, I have to get rid of this V from this expression. So, V from here I can get J equal to minus N E V, right, N E V. So, J x and this is V x, right. So, J x, this is V x. So, V x is J x by N E, minus sign is there, So, this is coming as a V x if I want to replace. So, V s I have to replace by, so this is E and then J x by minus N E, then B z. So, this is the unit vector along the y direction. It is telling this force along the y direction. So, I can remove this one and I can write here F y. So, it means Lorentz force acting on the along the y direction. So, that is why this J we should not be confused with this J with this current density. Okay. So, here you can see that this basically you are getting minus sign and then N E is there. So, I will get minus sign J x B z, and I am missing any electric field. Okay. So, this minus sign divide by n, So, that is the force I got. So, due to this magnetic field along the y direction, I am getting Lorentz force acting on the moving carrier. So, minus J x B z by n. So, here what is this? This is the carrier density. The J x it is set constant value, some particular value current density we have set in this sample. Now, particular magnetic field we have applied. So, for that, in that case, so this amount of force will act on the moving charge carrier. So, this now here it is negative sign, that means this force along the negative y direction, So, earlier it was difficult to say, because this V x we do not know, this V x it is whether it is because it was, of course, this V x one can take negative, because it was moving along this direction, right, velocity. So, that way if you consider the negative sign of this V x, so same thing will come, but it is better to just replace in terms of our known direction. This is positive direction, this is positive direction, z direction, this is of course density is positive. So, minus sign is telling. So, this force is acting along just opposite to the this negative direction of the along the y axis. So, electron are moving. Now, these electrons are experienced force in this direction, negative direction. Okay. So, electron will accumulate, will move in this direction and come to this phase, towards this phase. And when these electrons are moving towards this phase, so density of electrons will be more here on this phase, and deficiency of electron will be there this other phase, opposite phase, right. So, here one can say this, there will be positive charge accumulated in this side and this negative charge. So, here there is no hole. Okay. So, these the electrons are in this side. So, it is a more negative, the other side equivalently is more positive. Okay. So, what will happen because of this, what will happen? So, due to this Lorentz force, here this charge separation as if here. So, this it will give electric field. Okay. So, this direction of the electric field will be positive to negative, okay, in this direction. So, this electric field along the y direction, but it is towards negative y direction, and we can write E y. Okay. So, we have applied electric field along the x direction. Because of that, we are getting current now. Because of magnetic field along the z direction, there is a voltage, there is electric field generated in our sample, and that is just along the y direction. Okay. So, this electric field is called a Hall electric field. This electric field E y is called Hall electric field. E y is basically called Hall electric field. Hall electric field. Right, electric field, and corresponding voltage is called Hall voltage. So, V we write E h, okay, but it is along this y direction. So, V h equal to basically E y and this separation, right. So, this is W, this is W. So, E w will be the voltage corresponding to this Hall electric field. So, this is called Hall voltage, right. So, this from here I can so this electric field, because of this electric field, if this electric field does not form, what will happen? Because of this magnetic field, so all charge will try to move in this direction, okay, negative y direction, okay, but all the time it does not happen. So, there should be some steady state, and for this steady state we need some opposite force on this charge. So, that opposite force basically will come when this voltage, this voltage, what is called Hall voltage or Hall electric field is formed here, okay, or generated here. Okay. So, due to this electric field, what will happen? So, it will act on this carrier. My carrier is minus E, negative charge, right. So, this field was in this direction, and now because of this field electron charge, so that it will get force. So, that is again Lorentz force, right, because of electric field. So, E minus E into y, right. So, this force due to Hall voltage, so it will act in this direction, this force will act in this direction, right. So, this force is basically it will be in this direction, positive x direction. Okay. So, it will try to get back the electrons again towards positive direction, when this force was trying to get the electrons in this direction. Okay. So, these two has to be balanced, then only equilibrium condition steady state will arrive. So, this f y it's a minus j x. So, basically one has to so Fy along the negative direction, okay, this has to be equal to this. So, now note that here this is the electric field direction, this E y is basically itself is negative, right. So, just since electric field is in this direction, so on negative charge this force will act other direction. So, it is positive direction, right. So, if I consider the direction, then basically this force is positive y direction. So, how we are getting positive y direction? So, that force this is because of this force because of Hall electric field if I write Fh. So, F force due to this Hall electric field. So, this Fh will be this Fh has to be equal to my Ey it is in this direction. So, I have to write, if I consider direction, minus Ey, and it is acting on this negative charge, right. On this negative charge minus E, I have to write minus E, right, minus E. So, this is basically Ey E, okay, Ey E. So, that is now it is positive direction along the y direction, positive direction. This is negative direction, negative y direction. So, they are magnitude there. So, they are in opposite direction and they will balance each other. So, I can write this is minus j x b z by n equal to here E y E. Okay. So, here also now we can use this. Now, I do not need direction either positive or negative. So, but this then I can replace this y by h. So, then this y I can replace by h. So, E h. Okay. Okay. So, this I can write E h Hall electric field. Let us see. So, ultimately what I am getting, so from here I am getting E h equal to, so I want to find out Hall electric field. So, I am getting Hall electric field E h this Hall electric field because of this force, this I do not need. So, Hall electric field equal to this, just divide by n. So, I am getting minus j x b z by n, right. So, if I define R h equal to minus 1 by n e, if I define. So, then this I can write E h equal to R h g x b z. Okay, that is the Hall. So, R h it is called Hall coefficient. It is called Hall coefficient. It is called Hall coefficient, right? Hall coefficient. It's called Hall coefficient. Okay, this it's we will see what is this. So, it is minus 1 by n e, and if you look at this yes. So, then Hall voltage, I can write Hall voltage equal to, now this y is basically I have replaced by h, is w, right. So, Hall voltage, this here let me write V h Hall voltage equal to R h, and then I have to multiply it with just w. So, here J x V z w, right. So, that will be the Hall voltage. Now, again we are not much familiar with J x, right, we are familiar with current I x I. So, I have to multiply with the I x equal to A area, cross section area into J x, right. What is the cross section area? This is the W into T, that is the area, W into D, that is the cross section. So, W into T, right. So, J x I can replace by I x W into T, right. So, here you replace it, J x by I x divided by W into T, right. Now, this W you can remove this W, then you are getting R h I x V z by T, right. Now, this is very important formula, this is very important formula. So, if current I x is flowing through this along the x axis, okay. So, constant current if I set, right, applying some voltage, okay. So, this constant current is flowing through this sample along the x axis. Now, if I place this sample in a magnetic field of constant magnetic field of B, so along the z direction, so it is B z, okay. So, what will happen here? So, there will be voltage along the y direction. So, I can measure this voltage, So, I have to just measure the voltage along this y direction. So, I can get directly this V h I can get directly, I x I can get directly, B z I can get directly, right, because this I have applied, So, I have applied constant magnetic field, I know what is the magnitude of this magnetic field, I have applied constant current I x, what is the magnitude of this, from ammeter I can know this what is the current is flowing through this, and from Gauss meter, right, the Gauss meter is used for measuring the magnetic field. From Gauss meter reading I can get the magnetic field, and then this Hall voltage, there is voltage, another voltmeter I have to put across this. So, I can measure this voltage V h, right. So, T is of course from geometry one can find out the T, okay, thickness of the sample, from geometry one can find out. So, this is also known, okay, one can measure what is that. So, you can what you can get then? You can get R h equal to V h into T divided by I x V z, right. So, you can get the R h value. So, R h value is nothing but 1 by N e, right. So, N e equal to, you will get N e equal to, so from here you will get value of N e, you will get from here. So, this is the so I can replace this one by 1 by N e, So, negative sign is there, negative sign is there, negative sign is there, right. So, from here I know the RH value. So, from here I can find out any value. So, this negative sign is basically taken care by this VH. Okay. So, when you will just I think if this side is positive terminal of this your voltmeter and this is the negative terminal of the voltmeter. So, along the, so you have chosen in such a way this it is along the positive x direction, okay, positive, this negative. So, Hall voltage you will get here, you will get here negative voltage, okay, you will get here negative voltage. So, it is negative voltage or positive voltage that we have to set reference, right. So, in this direction when I will set this reference, so when I will get the whatever voltage that I will take as a negative, because I know this is the for electron, okay, negative charge. So, keeping this reference fixed, if I get this voltage just opposite sign, then it is positive voltage I will tell, and then this value automatically, whatever this RH value, because depending on the sign of this VH we will get RH either positive or negative because of sign of VH, and then that will tell me that whether it is 1 by minus Ne or 1 by plus Ne. So, plus Ne, then I will tell this carrier is whole, plus Ne, charge is E, but sign is positive. So, it is whole. So, this conduction is because of whole, or if I get this value RH value negative. So, this then I will tell it is a charge, negative charge electron. So, this conduction is for electron, right, this conduction is for electron. So, this Hall, this whatever I have discussed here, this called Hall effect, very famous discovery, it is called Hall effect, Hall effect, and it is so important, that you can find out what you can find out, you can find out the carrier density you can find out, carrier density, okay. It can be N, it can be P also in case of semiconductor, P type semiconductor, that will be Pe, and E is positive charge, okay, and the sign will tell you about the type of carrier, whether it is hole or electron. So, this for especially for semiconductor, it is very important this effect is very important, and based on this effect we can tell which type of carrier is there in semiconductor, either it is hole type or electron, okay. That means whether it is N type semiconductor or it is P type semiconductor, and what is the density of this carrier, that also one can tell, okay. In P type it is what is the density of carrier. So, this is important. So far whatever we have studied, everything we tried to find out in case of electrical property, to understand the electrical property. So, this free electron theory, band theory, then in case of semiconductor, in case of metal, just all theoretical calculation is to get the density of states, to get the density of carriers, right, and how to measure this density of carrier, that one should know, one should be able to measure, and that can be measured using this fantastic effect, Hall effect, and it is so simple, experimentally also one can measure easily. So, that is basically your this measurement will tell you the carrier density, it will tell you the sign of the, it will tell you the whether it is n type semiconductor or p type semiconductor, right. Okay. So, the yes, so basically this is the form, and another important fact is there that J equal to, yes, another important fact I should tell you. So, in general I can tell that J, in general I can tell that J equal to NeV, okay, without specifying the direction NeV. And now if I define that, okay, this just divide by electric field, and then multiply with electric field, okay, multiply with electric field. I think it is not clear. So, I am dividing this expression and multiplying with this electric field, okay. So, this I can write J equal to minus n, and again you forget this sign, okay, you forget this sign we are using this whether it is electron or whether it is hole. So, now it just I am writing that in general, okay, in general this I can write this is as a Q can be hole or Q can be electron. So, accordingly we can choose sign. So, in general if I write this way, so I will not bother about the sign, one can put sign whenever necessary. So, I can write NQ this V by electric field into electric field. So, if I define this V by E, this drift voltage, drift velocity per unit electric field, if it is defined as a mu, it is defined as a mu is called the mobility of the carrier, that is important, mobility of the carrier, right, mobility of the carrier. That is very important concept or parameter for studying the conductivity. So, here what I can write, J equal to NQ mu, and then you see, right. Okay. So, now, so J equal to sigma E, So, now sigma, another form of sigma you are getting, So, that is sigma, another form of sigma you are getting, that sigma. So, J equal to, so this one can write that is sigma E. So, sigma equal to N Q mu, right, N Q mu. Okay. So, this is important because this conductivity, it does not depend only on the carrier density, it depends on the carrier mobility also. So, it is just like resistance resistivity, you know, because this velocity depends on the amount of electric field, right. Now, if I divide it by this electric field, now it is independent of electric field. So, it is like a constant, right. Okay. So, mobility is more independent parameter like resistivity, like conductivity. It is different from the conductance, different from the resistance. So, that way this is the parameter mu is have significance. Okay. So, this conductivity is very important in that sense that it depends not only on the carrier density n, it depends on the mobility of the carrier also. Now, mobility is for electron, it varies in which band it is, mobility of the holes it varies, in which band it is, sometimes it becomes negative, sometimes like mass, mass sometimes become negative, sometimes become positive, whether it is in upper band or it is the bottom of the band, etc. So, that effective mass you have seen. So, so we want to measure the mobility also, right. So, to measure the mobility, if I want to get mobility, so from here I cannot get mobility, So, for that what I need, so here I have measured the Hall voltage and I got the things, right. And what things I got? I got the carrier density, I got the whether it is n type or p type, but I cannot get mobility. So, to get mobility I have to measure the conductivity, I have to measure the conductivity, that can be measured. Conductivity, what is conductivity? Conductivity is basically this I equal to yes. So, V equal to IR, right, V equal to IR. So, this if I, so V by I equal to R, V R and R equal to rho L by A, I think yes, V equal to rho L by A. So, this basically I can write here sigma 1 by sigma, right. So, I can find sigma. So, sigma I can give this side sigma and V by I means here I by V. So, I can do experiment where I will apply voltage and measure the current, okay. Say in this sample, okay, I will apply voltage and measure the current, then I know the dimension of my sample, what is the length, what is the area, cross section area, then I will get the sigma, right. So, if I measure the conductivity, then I will get the sigma. Now, if sigma is known, conductivity is known, then if n is known, yes, n is known now, because from here I get the current density, from Hall measurement I can get the current density. So, from here n is known, okay, then you can find out this mu. So, mu you will get in terms of sigma by n cube, okay. So, n from Hall measurement one can get, sigma one can get from resistivity measurement, okay, resistance measurement, resistivity measurements, and then one can get the mobility. So, if you measure the resistivity or conductivity of your sample and if you measure the Hall voltage of your sample, okay, then you can get all information, about the about the parameter which participate in conduction, okay. So, that is the carrier or carrier density, that is the mobility of the carrier. So, that is these two are very important, and of course, type of carrier and this that also one can know. So, and one can tell which type of semiconductor is p type or n type or both are there. So, that one can tell. So, that is what yes, yes, I think another important fact is there. If you looked at this expression, I just you see. So, whether I can use this formula for measuring for measuring the magnetic field, okay. So, whether I can make device using the Hall effect. What device I want to make? I want to make a device which will act as a sensor, which can sense the magnetic field and can tell me the magnitude of the magnetic field, okay, or reading of the magnetic field. Okay. If I want to get that type of sensors using the Hall effect, so whether it is possible or not. So, for any sensor, whether temperature sensor, magnetic field sensor or gas sensor or whatever, so it has to, so we get the signal, we should get the signal from that sensor, that electrical signal. If I get electrical signal which will be proportional to that parameter, whether it is temperature or this magnetic field, right, or the density of gas. Okay. So, that I should get in terms of electrical signal and this some relation with them, then I can use that property for device purpose. So, here you can see if I take a very small piece of sample, okay, and set the current, okay, Ix current, if I set, it is easy to set. I will set the current and then the magnetic field, whatever magnetic field I want to measure, if I put this sensor to that in that magnetic field, that value I do not know, but I want to know. So, what will happen? This RH is constant, of course, it's the property of the sample, right, nothing to do with this constant and this T constant. Okay. So, what I will get? I will only measure this Hall voltage. Now, this Hall voltage is proportional to Bz, magnetic field, right, and these, if I keep them constant, so this will be some proportionality constant, say C, some proportionality constant. So, now when B is increased, we are increasing B, so voltage is increasing. So, I can measure the voltage and after some calibration I can tell what is the magnetic field. So, this sample using this Hall effect, this can be used for measuring the magnetic field. So, that is what it is there. We use this sensor in our laboratory to measure the magnetic field. So, this is called Hall sensor, Hall probe, Hall sensor or Hall probe. Okay. If I have a probe arrangement with this current and if I put in magnetic field, then I will get the voltage. So, it sometimes one has to calibrate it. Okay. Then using that calibration all the time, because this calibration, if I keep this is constant, so the calibration factor is all the time it will work. So, I can use anywhere. Okay. So, I will get magnetic field. Now, important is sensor, for sensor it is important that this how we are, it is very important that the sensitivity of the sensor or resolution of the sensor. What does it mean? This sensitivity of the sensor means if very small, so magnetic field is there. Now, I have put my sensor, now I am changing the magnetic field, okay, but this voltage change is not much. So, it will not be sensitive to the small change of the magnetic field. Okay. So, our probe, our device will be more sensitive if for small change of magnetic field the change of Hall voltage will be more. Okay. For small change of magnetic field, this change of Hall voltage will be more. Okay. So, that is why one has to design the sensor. So, here we have scope, you know, here you see these things I kept constant, right. So, RH I cannot control, you know, because this is the density Ne or Pe whatever. Okay. So, nothing to do with that. So, I have only Ix and T in my hand. So, Ix I cannot also put very high value, then this sample will be hot. So, I cannot put higher current in the system. So, I have to keep also current a particular suitable value. Okay. After that this T is there, you see this is in denominator, means when T will be smaller, T will be smaller. So, this factor, this constant will be higher, this factor will be higher. If T is higher, so this factor will be more. So, this constant will be higher or smaller, it will depend on, we can control with this. So, if C is higher, then what does it mean? C is higher, so small change of magnetic field, since this constant is higher, so this VH will be higher, okay, because this is the multiplication factor, right. So, thus this, if you see any time in your lab or in higher education, this we are using this some probe for measuring the magnetic field, that is Hall probe, and in that Hall probe there is a small sample, and that sample is taken is a very thin. Okay. So, because that will for same magnetic field for this geometry I will get higher Hall voltage. So, my sensor will be sensitive. So, whenever you see, whenever we get some formula, always we should look at the parameter and try to find out whether we can use this effect for some any device purpose. So, for device purpose when we are going to use, then I have to think how I can make it more sensitive. Okay. So, that is one has to look at it. So, thank you for your kind attention. I will stop here.